yesterday we spoke about self-awareness. Now, if you haven't seen that video, I suggest you go back and watch that one first, because I think everything kind of follows on self-awareness. Self-awareness, I would call the foundation of anything self. So being aware of all the things that I mentioned in yesterday's video would already help you with the next step. So go back, watch it first, and then come back to this one. Because in today's video, I want to talk about self-knowledge. And again, I made some notes, and as I go through it, just think about it and see how much of it how well do you know yourself? Because what is self-knowledge? Well, self-knowledge is knowing yourself. And yes, we all do know ourselves. We live in this body and we think with this mind, so of course we know ourselves. But how well do we know ourselves? Think about your moods, and do you know what affects your mood? Why are some people morning people and some are night people? Why do certain things excite certain people and anger other people? What affects your mood? Do you know what affects your mood? And do you know how to change your state? So if you're in a good mood, what can happen that can immediately put you in a bad mood? Or if you're in a bad mood, what can happen to change that mood and put you in a good mood? So yeah, so think about your moods and what affects your moods. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? We all have strengths, we all have weaknesses. So what are your strengths? What are you good at? And what are things that you probably shouldn't do because you're not that good at it? Some people are good at creative writing, other people are good at mechanical work. So what are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? Do you ever think about that? What are you capable of? And what are you able to do? And what are the things that you feel or think you can't do or you're not able to do? Skills and talents. What are your skills? What are your talents? Do you know all your skills? Have you tried and tested various skills to know what you're good at? And what are your talents? What are you talented in? Are you talented in baking and cooking, or are you talented in drawing and art? What are your skills? What are your talents? Your values. We spoke about values yesterday, and what is important to you. We all have values, and we all have things that are important to us. Do we know what they are? And what are the things that we don't value at all? What are the things that might be important to other people, but for us, we're not worried about it, we're not concerned with it. So think about your values and what is important to you. Your inner resources. Where are you resourceful? Are you creative? Are you friendly? Are you empathetic? Are you, all of those. Think about the things that where you are resourceful in. And there's a whole list of it. Sometimes we're not even aware of our inner resources because we never actually think about it. So once we know what we're good at or what we're resourceful in, we can start using that, applying that to help us move forward in life. So inner resources are extremely important. What interests us? What are we interested in? What bores us? So some people will be interested in one thing, other people will be bored by it. But what are your interests? And your beliefs. Ooh, that's a big one, beliefs. Do you have limiting beliefs? Do you have empowering beliefs? Do you believe that you can't do certain things, can't have certain things, can't be who you want to be? Or do you believe that you can be anything and have anything and be everything? So what are your beliefs? And I'm not talking about your religious beliefs, I'm talking about your beliefs in yourself. What do you believe for yourself? Goals. What are your goals? Do you have goals? You should have goals because it's important to have goals in life. Without goals, how do we move forward? When sometimes people come to me and they say, I'm stuck in my life is so stagnant, I don't know how to move forward, and I ask them, so what are your goals? and they tell me they don't have goals. Well, no wonder you feel stuck, because goals is what move us forward in our life. So what are your goals? What moves you forward in life? Your dreams. Do you have dreams? We all need dreams. We need to dream, because dreams become goals eventually. If we start dreaming about things, we can make them goals, and we can start achieving those dreams and eventually start living our dreams. So what are your dreams? Passions. What are you passionate about? Sit and think about that. What brings you great joy? What do you love doing? What do you love spending your time on, your money on, your energy on? What are you passionate about? What is your purpose in life? That's a big one. I know it's a big one. A lot of people don't actually know what their purpose is in life. And it's so simple, because there is something. We all came here for a reason. We're all here for a reason, if you think about the bigger picture. So what is your purpose? Think about that. What excites you? What repels you? What triggers you? What puts you in a bad mood? What puts you in a good mood? What should you stay away of? Certain people, perhaps. It's good to know your triggers, because if you are someone that gets triggered by external things, it's good to know what triggers you, so that you don't find yourself in a place where you get triggered by something and you're in a situation where you don't want to be. So think about the things that trigger you. What are your worries, your concerns? What keeps you up at night? What freaks you out and makes you anxious and turns your stomach? All of that stuff. What scares you? What are you afraid of? Is it spiders? Is it fear of failure? Is it fear of rejection? Is it fear of dying? Like, what are the things that scare you the most? Are you an introvert or an extrovert? Are you an introvert in certain circumstances, but an extrovert in other circumstances? Are you an introvert with certain types of people, but an extrovert with other people? Because that's possible too. Where do you feel comfortable? Where do you feel uncomfortable? Who makes you feel comfortable? Who makes you feel uncomfortable? So all of that stuff. What are your boundaries? We all should have boundaries. We should have boundaries in place so that people don't walk over us and don't take us for granted. So what are your boundaries? What do you allow other people to cross? Which boundaries do you allow other people to cross, or do you have boundaries in place? If not, I really do suggest that you think about putting some boundaries in place. It is important. It's not selfish to have boundaries. It is very important to look after your own well-being and put those boundaries in place so that people don't misuse you. Your traumas, your childhood traumas, or any other traumas. Do you know what traumatized you in such a way that moving forward in your life you might be nervous about or anxious about certain things? Your childhood programming. How were you programmed as a child? What were you told you can do and can't do as a child that you still believe today? Childhood programming is also another big one, that we walk around in this world and we don't always recognize the programs running in our minds, and most of them come from childhood, because we were like little sponges as children, and we've taken up the programs of the people around us, our parents, our teachers, our people in authority. They've programmed us in certain ways, and as adults those programs still run if we're not aware of it. And it's only when we become aware of those programs and we get to know these programs that we can start changing them, especially if they do not work for us. So think about that. What are you proud of? What are you embarrassed about? What do you like to share with people? What do you hide from people? Judgment, self-judgment. Are you judgmental about other people, certain things? Think about judgment. Are you a people pleaser, or are you aloof and you don't like to give in to people? Are you a rebel? what is it that you use when you're with people? What do you like to go after? And what are the things you procrastinate on? Because we all have things that we want to go after and we want to achieve, but then we also have things that we procrastinate on. And it's good to know what it is. What drives you, and what drives you and what stalls you. So these are all things, and again, there's so much more to self-knowledge and really knowing yourself on a deeper level. So much to it, but these are all things that perhaps might help you think about what you know about yourself. And why not sit down and make some notes? And again, like I said yesterday in yesterday's video, observe yourself. Become aware of yourself. Now begin to know yourself on a deeper level. Not just on a superficial level, but on a deeper level. Know who you really are. And begin to understand yourself so that you can move forward in life. Because with all of this knowledge about yourself, you can understand yourself better. Which is something we'll get into the next video. So for now, let's leave it at that and think about what the things I've mentioned. Think about other things that might help you in knowing yourself better, so that you can move forward in life. So yeah, thank you for joining me today, and remember to tune in again tomorrow, because like I say, tomorrow I will probably talk about self-understanding and just another step closer to really embracing yourself and loving yourself this February. Until then, bye!